Welcome back to Kentucky Route Zero, where we want to start Act 4. What is that? Ah, that was the mammoth foghorn. At least they didn't use a real mammoth. I suppose it's... yeah, it said mammoth a second ago. 5.4 Context Backlash. General wear on the gestural gear mounting apparatus may result in undesirable play between teeth in the context and history state machine gears, causing stuttering, slippage, resetting and skipping. Guess it could be slippage. Left unresolved, gear slops can gradually throw limbs out of alignment, blend motions and decontextualized gestures. See also sections 1.8 general troubleshooting and 5.3 gesture context. Okay, what else is in here? Table of contents, introduction, installation, orientations, order of operations, the passage of time, gestures, final notes. Maybe I ought to read it back to front, but that will do, book, and I throw it into the river. My savior, our friend here is in a bad way. Any insight? Time to put that mammoth out to pasture, Will. Oh, I feel certain she's got a few trips left in her. If only she had a more capable surgeon. Sadly, mechanics are in short supply down here. I think the setting is too romantic, it scares them off. And what brings you down to the Echo tonight? I always end up here eventually. The river is like that, it always has been. We picked you up at the Burrow tonight. Never seen you that far upriver before. I hope that doesn't mean you have been traveling on the Zero. The Bureau has great acoustics. You've got that right. Wow, I could sit in there for hours, just listen to my breath reverberate through that weird architecture. Still, it's always good to be back on the river. I've been traveling this river for more than half my life, more or less alone. I think I've seen it change quite a bit in all those years, but I can't say for sure. The water has a peculiar way of making a person forgetful. Some nights I remember a place, but it's full of strange new people, and some nights I meet an old friend on an unfamiliar shore. I wonder which kind of night this is. We want to take the ferry towards Dogwood Drive, if I remember right. The Mucky Mammoth. Ah, that's the name of the ferry, I think. Go to Will or Kate? Let's go to Kate, because we've talked to Will already. Can't talk to Blue. That's not Blue. Blue has a straw hat. Was that cold river spray treating you? I thought I saw you squinting. It's hard water, you know. Hard on the eyes. It still irritates mine a little. And I'm piloting a tugboat through it 6 nights a week. Don't be shy to close them in public, your eyes I mean. People will just assume you're thoughtful. You need tea. Let's make up some slippery elm, instant coffee and dried spring agaricus. Just add swamp snake and that would be a love potion. I'm teasing. Or am I? How far are we from Dogwood Drive? Oh, that's Shannon. How far are we from Dogwood Drive? The Echo is dicey tonight. Bad luck for you. Expect waves and diversions. Dogwood Drive is by the silo mail stop, but we may need to spend some more time on an indirect route before we hit our stop, okay? And there's other businesses. Mail to drop off, garbage to pick up, and a few favors to execute, all dotted on the riverbanks from here to there. I hope you enjoy the trip on All Little Mammoth. Take advantage of all the amenities. Fresh air, cozy bunks, hot tea, the video room. There are some pretty interesting tapes down there actually. Unusual, I mean weird. Watch out that VCR. Doesn't take your hand off though. It's untrustworthy. What's wrong with the VCR? I could take a look. Oh, please do. I don't know anything about electronics. Please try a few different tapes. You'll get the picture. Hey, do me a favor, go ask Will how the repairs are going, and if he needs anything, we're coming up on the next stop here, just refueling and picking up a few things. I could grab a bolt or some wire or something, whatever he needs. Well, eyes on the road. And let's go to Will. Ah, there's Blue. What do you mean I can't talk to Blue? That's the most important thing in this game. For your mold and whiskey filled oh. Wet gears. Wet gears? Probably, you know, it's the first thing I tried anyway, down here by this little blue box. I took all the gears out and dried each one by hand, then I loaded them back in again. That took care of the grinding sound, but that trunk keeps doing that sparking, clanking, weeping thing. To be honest with you, I'm not really qualified for this work. Kate's a friend, you know how it is, don't you? Kate was asking if you needed anything when we stopped. Well, hell, I don't know. Scratch ticket. I think she meant like parts or... Oh, I wouldn't know if I did, haha. What's your story, Will? A story, well, I like to listen to them, I like to tell them, but I don't have one of my own. I also don't have a permanent address or a pickup truck or any change of clothes. I wash my laundry in the river, and in that moment I'm truly free. I don't even have any shoes. But I should tell you where I left my shoes. Did you know I'm a classically trained organist? It's true, look at these long fingers and pedal gripping toes. It doesn't matter. A minor in French literature earned me a position teaching auto to soda at the university. Well, some shitty governor cut state funding for our department. I was demoted to mopping floors, running wiring through walls or in dangerous places. I even operated the soundboard at the student theater. I left my shoes there at the university. It was a protest. Walk without shoes for something important or tragic. I ended up by the shore and soon I was drifting along the Echo. It ran for a while above ground then. It doesn't anymore, but I prefer subterranean waters anyway. Kate brings me along and I record what I can see and hear. I try to help with maintenance. I drop off the mail and pick up the trash. On occasion I take the helm. Anyway, that's all I try to remember anymore. I listen to the river stories, and my own stories get fainter and fainter. Well, I'll just keep drying gears, I guess. Hey, Ezra. Whoa, slow down, it's slippery up on deck. Do you have the batteries? Yeah, of course, what for? Johnny said I could use his tape recorder, but it needs a battery. Oh, fun. Well, here's 4 different kinds. Surely one of these should fit. Thank you. Hey, Will. You got your battery, small man. Go get you some tape. I think I need to go inside, but I'm not sure. Let's try to go inside. Why should there be tape on the outside? Okay. Musicians, of course. Really? You were in trance, you don't remember this? It's okay, we've all seen a lot of concerts. Cyrano opened his tape machine, was broken or something, it got really cosmic. Right at the flower shop, I remember that show, sorry Clara. Well, you've seen a second chance to hear it tonight. That was fast, got the batteries. Let's see, perfect, this one will do. So you hit this button here to record, hold it right here, so you don't cover the microphone with your hand. I bet you'll find a lot of good sounds just around the tugboat. There's plenty of tape in there, so don't be stingy with it. Just record anything that catches your ear, it really changes the way you listen. For the better, I mean. How long is the trip? We've got ways to go, and this boat makes pretty frequent stops. I think Kate said we're moving pretty slowly tonight too. Weather. Kate said we could stop at the rum colony Serrano's playing. Well, that's ideal. I'm supposed to meet a lady there to look at some old engine parts about 3 hours ago. 3 hours goes fast at the rum colony, ma'am. I bet she's still there. I hope we don't stop there too long. My concert is soon. I don't want to keep them waiting. No, it's river time. Nobody expects you to be punctual. Hey, why don't you give that tape recorder a try, see if that cat over there has anything he wants to say. I often use found sounds in my music. If you find some interesting sounds tonight, you can help me out. Cat. Don't use cat sounds. Okay, and I'm me now. I didn't want to go out, but okay.
Did I lose an arm too?
Why haven't I seen that already? You know, it's the strangest thing. Oh, you know, it's the strangest thing. I can't remember why I came up here. Neither can I. Damn noisy river. It's just that thing about, what was it, when you walk through a door, when you go into the kitchen for something, and as soon as you pass from one room into another, you forgot what you wanted. You have to walk back out just to remember, like you left a part of your brain behind. Hey, I wonder if I could follow that brain crumb trail all the way back to the room I was born in. You were driving for hours, got any sleep? You found beer. There's a cooler full down there. They say it just floated by, and if you believe that, got caught on some netting and they hauled it aboard, a bounty. Anyway, there's a sign by the cooler. Take what you need and leave the rest. Did you see Ezra go in? Oh yeah, he's poking around with a tape recorder, exploring. He seems to keep himself entertained. Huh. It's good for him. It's important to know how to be alone. What's up, huh? You look like there's something you want to ask. Fine, you can ask it. One question. I thought you didn't drink. Well, I didn't. I mean, I did, and then I didn't, and then I did again. That's how it always goes. I drift out, finally wind up back at Lisette's with my head between my legs, saying never again. 50 months this last time. I think I hung on because I knew there wouldn't for much longer be anywhere to go back to. She went to live with her sister now, and she probably won't remember me for long anyway. One time she picked me out of a ditch by the road, blackout drunk at dawn. I came around later that night. She'd taken care of me. I told her I didn't deserve it, and she said I didn't have to deserve it. It's an interesting thing. It's a very interesting thing that he drinks because he has someone to return to. Normally it's the other way around. Me personally, I'm not really a big drinker, but I won't shy away from a drink at a party. But I'm not one to like drink alone in the evening or so. I don't like that. It's not giving me any pleasure drinking. It's a catalyst for social situations at parties, but it's not a thing that I really enjoy being drunk. She sounds like a saint. We should all have someone like that. Oh, you wouldn't say that if you knew her when she was younger. That girl was wild. I guess she's got her own problems now. I wish I could help out. Hey, maybe I could make some money and send it to her sister. Maybe they keep me on at the distillery, I mean. Oh, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. I've got to repay my debt. Hell, I should be grateful for the opportunity. If you want to die with any dignity, you've got to settle up. That's why it's such a damn shame when people go sudden. Oh, we're drifting along the river now. And we can't steer.
At least not yet.
I'm sure I talk too much, everyone on this river does. The problem is that we listen twice as much as that. We are only telling you half of the stories we hear. Kay told me that I ought to have been a photographer. She said, you have an uncanny way of having been in the place at the time the thing happened there, and that's the hardest part of taking a photograph anyway. Nice of her to say, but it isn't true. Though I know just about every story on this river, most of them I've picked up second, third or fourth hand, and so on. Listening, see? Now I don't know what you're gonna ask, so I'm gonna answer it. Yes, I'm sure they're all true. I personally believe a story gets more true as it's tossed around from brain to brain. The whole community brings their insights to bear on the brittle facts of experience. There are few Echo River stories I witnessed directly. I saw that big owl migration pass through. You might have heard about that. I was there when the old train station flooded. I saw the ghost of Stephen Bishop brew up a badge of white lightning on a raft. Or anyway, I talked to a few sailors who'd recently crossed paths with him, and I suspect sampled his wares. So you're not getting any real stories, you're just repeating stories you've heard. Great. One night when I was working on the Mucky Mammoth, we picked up a gaggle of passengers headed down to a mail drop by the silo of Late Reflections. I knew a couple of them in passing, a pair of traveling musicians whom I often encountered on the river. The others were strangers to me at the time, a young woman, a small boy, and an old man whose name I didn't catch. Oh, and a smelly old dog. We docked at the gas station so the Mammoth could refuel. Gas station. Ezra followed Junebug and Johnny into the gas station. No, he stayed on the tugboat and looked around the map room. Map room is interesting. We have to learn how to navigate the Zero, and the map room could help me with that. So are we in the map room now?
Yeah.
Or are we following Junebug to the gas station? I hope we are in the map room. Can't talk to the dog, so look out. The lift drifts by. I see a small flock of bats, a floating gas station, a small island covered with turtles, a rock covered with turtles. Nothing interesting to see. What a relief. Thanks for taking the wheel. Our secret, okay? How do you know which way to turn? I just keep my eyes open, that's the most important part. Speaking of which... Oh hey, there's the gas station. I was hoping we'd cross paths soon. It just kind of drifts around, you never know where you'll meet it. As you can see by this dial right here, our fuel situation is pretty disparate. I have a bad habit of letting that needle spend a lot of time in the red zone. We should only be docked at the gas station for a few minutes refueling. You might just want to stay aboard. So, you like boats? So it sounds to me like the river makes the gas station island appear when it senses a boat running low on fuel. Which is interesting. I would like gas stations on roads to do that. Not that I drive much around with cars, because last time I drove must be 4 or 5 years ago. I live in a small town where I can do everything on foot, so I have no need to have a car. It is just too expensive to have one, because you have to pay annually taxes and how do you call it? Insurance? Do you like boats? Yeah, my dad had a boat for a while. Oh, what kind of boat? It had a joystick to drive it. We put it in a pond near our old house. I see, so this one's a little bigger, huh? Same idea though. So what else did I neglect to explain earlier? This area here is called the wheelhouse. All the gauges and controls help me understand what's going on with the mucky mammoth and her haul. This is a compass, but it doesn't work very well down here for some reason. I just go by landmarks basically and lights. Did you see these 2 lights at the sides of the boat, a red one and a green one? All the other boats have them too. Some are different colors or in different configurations. If we cross paths with someone right away, I can work out what kind of boat they're in and what direction they're going, even in the dark. It's all about looking up here. The other half of piloting this boat happens down in the map room. Speaking of which, have we passed a big rock that looks like a dinosaur yet? No, but we passed a huge cliff with a bunch of words painted on it. Oh, the story cliff. I don't know who wrote those words up there, but they tell a story about, well, it's hard to say what exactly it's about. It's the story of some people and animals and their adventures. Sometimes, if I'm running ahead of schedule, I like to drop anchor there and read for a while. The nice thing about the story cliff is you can start reading anywhere you want. There's no beginning or end, just a bunch of middle. That's weird. We should have definitely passed Dinosaur Rock by now. Oh wait, there it is up ahead, see? Wow, that's my new favorite rock. It's great, right? What was your old favorite rock? A rock my aunt got in a mail from Arizona. It was bright green and she said it had good energy. Cool. It's strange though. According to my charts, we should have passed Dinosaur Rock before the story cliff. But that's okay, sometimes the charts need updating. Hey, Will is down in the map room right now. Could you run down and help him adjust the charts to move the story cliff so it comes a little earlier on our route than Dinosaur Rock? The map room is down below deck on the lower level, right next to the sleeping quarters. I'll get on the intercom and let him know you're coming. We caught her. Make a noise. Not making a noise. Can I finally speak to Blue, please? No, only to Conway. Hey, what's up? You look like you're about to fall asleep. No, I don't think I could ever sleep on a river. You're right though, it's been a long day. I should maybe find some coffee to go with all this beer, or just move on up the real stuff. Doesn't weigh you down as much, you know? No, of course you don't. Hey, what I'm talking about, who knows? Bye. Nothing here. Ah, playing the theremin. Well, this is harder than it looks. Yeah, it takes a certain kind of ear. Oh, like the perfect pitch? Do you have that? Not really that, it's more like muscle memory. When I'm playing the theremin, I kind of hear with my hands. This is the music instrument that the Star Trek intro of the original Star Trek series was played on. It's like, so it's like this board and then this metal antenna coming out of it, and there's current running through it between this, and it's going and making a field through the air with the other metal thing here. So this is like these half circular thing, and this, and there's like a magnetic field or an electromagnetic field in the air, and because your hand does have another, not the same conductivity as air, you change the field by putting your hand inside, and that makes sound. It's great. It's really great. And if you can't play it, it sounds horrifying. No, I think I get it. Let's talk to Will in the map room. Salutations, small man. Kate says you have an adjustment for our shards. Good timing, I'm just shedding my copies. That's how we keep our shards up to date. As we pass through the section of the river or the lake, I draw a new copy of the map and make adjustments for anything we see that doesn't match. He points to a small drawing on the map. So this is where we have Dinosaur Rock marked now, this little dinosaur drawing. I drew that. Cool claws. Thank you. Will points to the other small drawing on the map, and this is where we thought this story cliff was, but now I guess we've got to move it back a bit. But how far, I wonder? Any ideas? Anything else you remember about when you saw the story cliff? I saw the clock. We passed the story cliff 6 minutes before Dinosaur Rock. That will do just fine, so let's see, at our current speed that would give us a distance, about 1/8 of a mile, let's say. 1/8 of a mile you can see from one place to another, even in a... maybe not in a cave, Will measures along the sharded lake with a divider. And I'm thinking, the problem is now it's miles, but sea miles and imperial miles are two different things, and like sea miles are almost double the length of a normal mile, so I don't know which mile he's thinking of. Also, I am not accustomed to thinking in miles, because I think in kilometers and meters, because that's clearly the better system. Doesn't have the bullshit of 12 inches make a feet, 3 feet make a yard, and 1600 yard make a mile, or something like that. I'm way off, I think, on the math there, but it's just we have 10 millimeters making a centimeter, 100 centimeters making a meter, and 1000 meters making a kilometer. It's way easier to think of without really thinking about it. Just use them, and there's no second guessing, because it's so easy to convert between the units, and the Imperial system doesn't have that. Somewhere around here. Good enough, eh? That should do it for the new copy. Oh, I made some other corrections, tucked in the banks a little, made this section deeper, and left off a shipwreck that must have washed away or been scavenged into splinters. Of course it means a lot of clutter, all these old copies. Say, a pile of old maps. I was just about to throw this deck out. Maybe you'd like to hang on to one? They're out of date, but they could be fun to look at. These are mostly river shards, I think. Take a look through and see if one of them catches your eye. A crisp clean map. Why would I look at that? That's not good. Or the rough torn map could be impossible to read, but the faded old map. Here, turn it around, like, there you go, there's no real idea of north down here, magnetic or otherwise, so we just hold the maps with the current pointing down. The river curves clockwise around the few small islands in order to scribble along the margin. Islands just below the surface, only visible under bright light. They come and go, the islands that is, I still mark them if I see them. And I take the faded old map. Nice. Well, thanks for your help with the shard adjustment. Our next stop is a bar called the Rum Colony. I guess you're not much of a barfly, but you might like to run around the beach, and the decor as well. It's curious to hear what you think of it. And I'm still walking against him because games are stupid sometimes. The gas station isn't anchored to anything, it follows the current, we might run into it anywhere along the river. Kate just starts looking for it when she's low on fuel and the echo provides. It's not usually on the lake though, that was strange.
Ah, that's on the lake.
Kate likes to wait until the very last minute to refuel. Yeah, she's a thrill seeker and you'd never guess it. She seems so centered, doesn't she? I've always thought so. Maybe that's why she enjoys rocking the boat a little. She knows she can stay upright through a little bad weather, so she can just relax and enjoy the chaos. Well, I admire her confidence. But there was plenty of chaos to go around that night already, with that ugly storm upstairs, though we didn't know the extent of the flood damage yet at that point. Anyway, my mechanical musician friends went ashore for a bit too, looking for some snack foods. Kate didn't stock anything about the mucky mammoth that doesn't grow wild, and it's not to everyone's taste, or maybe just to stretch their limbs and charge their batteries. They came back looking refreshed. I'm sure they needed that moment to themselves. You wouldn't think a pair who made their living performing on a stage could be so introverted, but they really were in their way. Sure, they had plenty of fans along the river, where they traveled and performed often in those days, but I think nobody else ever really got through. That inner circle was drawn with 2 strokes. I mean, for a mile anyway. Naturally, I assume they met the gas station attendant, a man as anonymous and itinerant as the place itself. I assume he talked their ear off. Everyone on this river does. But I know that fellow well enough to know he wouldn't want us reminiscing on him right now. So they came back aboard. Mammoth refueled and we ambled on towards the rum colony. And that looks like a rum colony would. Like on a Southern American island, or Middle American island, Caribbean island. Shannon followed the other travelers ashore to a drowsy beachside bar called the Rum Colony. I could choose again what to do. This time we're going to the Rum Colony. But we'll be doing that in the next episode. See you tomorrow at the Rum Colony. Have a nice day.